Xbox and Halo fans, new and old, really want Halo Infinite to be that great game that leaves a mark on the industry and makes Halo big again. Because there hasn't been a universally well-acclaimed Halo since the game designed by Bungie. Some would see this as a last chance for a lot of people that are wavering on the fence and want to keep Halo as that gaming juggernaut. How can they do that? I really think that could be from a very big, successful launch. And with me today is Halo content creator, FootedGhost, and myself as a longtime Halo fan. We together are going to think of what could leave people with a great first impression of Halo Infinite that will set a stage for a very great feeling Halo. With all that in mind, FootedGhost, thank you so much for coming by. What do you think about the launch of Halo Infinite and anything you want to say about yourself as a Halo fan?
No worries, thanks for having me on here today, mate. So I'm very excited for this launch of Halo Infinite coming, even if it's delayed, I'm very excited for it. And it has to be perfect at launch for this game to be successful. So today, I'm assuming we're going to go talking about what Halo Infinite needs to make sure it's successful. So I'll let you take the reins of that, mate. But yeah, I'm feeling very confident for the game overall, but I'd like to get into what I think, what my thoughts are towards how this game could be perfect in terms of a solid release.
Yeah, in terms of like a solid day one that really draws people in. And the way we have this structured, guys, is like, there's so many things that we could fit in here. But we are keeping it to like one obvious thing that everybody might say, but each of us could say one obvious thing and then one personal thing that maybe not everybody is saying, but for each of us, it's going to be ecstatic, you know?
Yeah.
So we want to know what you guys think of the comments as well, if we don't mention it or if you have any comments off of it. Ghost, what would be your first obvious thing? What's the obvious thing you think Halo Infinite needs day one?
Okay, so I think day one, when we talk about a next-gen title, which Halo Infinite should be, even though it's going to be cross-platform with Xbox One, the graphical fidelity needs to be absolutely there at launch, day one. Although, for a lot of people, including myself, I'm not too sure if it's the same with you, the gameplay, I'd say, is the most important thing. But in terms of this game being a next-gen title, to entice so many, different people from different consoles, different games, this game needs to still look really, really clean. So I'd say my biggest thing that this game needs to be absolutely successful, so it like glaringly looks like a next-gen title, it needs to have the graphics absolutely perfect on day one, or have the graphics improved to a point where someone would look at the game at launch, at day one, and say, wow, okay, I've not seen this before with the current gen games, that I need to go grab this game and try out what a next gen experience would be like. So I feel like that's really important, and that's why part of the reason 343 are delaying the game, so they can actually ensure that the Halo Infinite game that everyone was expecting to see at that July reveal is actually there at launch day one in the way everyone envisioned it, basically. But yeah, that's the big one I'd say for now. I'll go into what else I think in a second, but I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
So I totally agree with that. I admit I don't have the biggest hopes for this game to really be that Red Dead Redemption 2 or Last of Us 2 and things like that. Because Halo has always impressed me graphically wise, but I do admit I do think they need to at least be a noticeable improvement from what they had at the July show. And to kind of like second this is ray tracing. I think this gives them the opportunity to have ray tracing at launch, and that will showcase what the Series X can do. So yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah, ray tracing is huge. That's another thing. Absolutely. They now have the time to add that in, which wasn't originally in their plans. So hopefully with ray tracing, we'll see a huge improvement. Of course, from what we recently
and there
saw.
will be. Ray tracing does some great stuff. My obvious thing that I want to say, we know is coming to the game, but I just need to see the Forge mode is there day one.
Yes.
It's not launched later on like they did in Halo 5, because one of the things ever since Halo 3 that really made Halo stand out among the crowd was its Forge mode. And Halo 5's Forge mode is insane to this day.
It is. It really is.
I can't think of anything crazier. And you make your own games in that, and I can't even imagine the scale that Infinite would do. And that would all the more, the reason I say this is for day one is because it encourages the creative freedom that we've kind of had ever since the third game when they introduced Forge. A Halo game without Forge at launch would just kind of seem like a step down, in my opinion, and just wouldn't have those custom games and community-made maps potentially and matchmaking and stuff and infection and all that stuff. It's just, I think it's a really important thing.
Yeah, I completely agree, because Forge as well, that's where, you know, you've got your people that create all the customs, like you said, and even like we saw with Halo 5 didn't launch with Forge. We had to wait an extra month for Forge, and that was one of the things that really hurt the game at launch. So Halo Infinite really needs to make sure that every single aspect of the game, you know, BTB, Arena, like everything else to do with Arena, Forge, Theater, everything like that is there day one.
100%.
Otherwise, there will be, you know, community backlash like crazy. So, yeah, they need to ensure they do that. Absolutely.
So, those are two obvious ones. What is something really personal to you that you think would just make you ecstatic seeing in day one?
Okay, give me a second. Let me just think. Okay, so this is more of a game mode, I'd say, that I don't know if it will return. But I reckon,
I'll give you a spoiler. Mine's a game mode too, so
okay.
We'll see.
Okay, I'm gonna say Invasion first. I don't know if that's where you're going. No.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Hell yeah, man. Yeah.
That wasn't mine, but I totally agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I just feel like that game mode was, I don't know, one of the best modes. I'd say best modes for Halo. Even though it was in Halo Reach, I reckon in a Halo Infinite styled arena game, I reckon it would be fantastic. Like Invasion, all the potential's there for, you know, huge maps, plenty of vehicles, so you have so much vehicular action, crazy new weapons, you know, yeah, it's, the potential's there, you know.
Which vehicle action is what Halo's known for, you know?
Exactly right. I mean, you got BTB, but this is just another step up, you know.
Sure, yeah. And, you know, I could picture Invasion even, maybe, I hope they kind of keep the name Invasion, but it could be kind of like the next Warzone in a sense, where they combine the two.
Absolutely, yeah.
That would be fantastic.
There was on a Red online that they could do that, yeah. So that would be pretty crazy as well.
I love that. Honestly, I kind of prefer yours over mine. That wasn't what I picked, but
yeah, let's see yours.
I freaking love Firefight. And I'm so excited for ODST Firefight to be a Master Chief Collection, 100%. And a game with like every version of Firefight being classic survival and goofy stuff, rockets, whatever. That's great. Have that at launch. Yes, please. But make something, what's a new element they could add to this game to just add it all the more fantastic? And I would say that would be a flood version of Firefight. Have a flood version of Firefight. Because I hear this game is supposed to be on Zeta Halo. So if lore fanatics know what Zeta Halo is, and there's probably going to be flood in this game, and if they are, a flood Firefight, sign me up.
Sign me up too, bro. Absolutely, I'd be so keen for that. And I think absolutely for sure we'll see the flood in this game, even maybe like halfway through the game. I reckon they'll do a similar thing to what CE did with the flood. But yeah, I think absolutely the Firefight has that potential to, you know, have so many different modes and variations. That's why it's so fun. But yeah, I completely agree with that for sure. Flood would be amazing.
A final challenge to you, the viewer, is to vote on these last two ideas that Ghost and I are gonna throw out there, and you have one more spitball, like a quick shot. This is a quick shot idea.
Okay, all right.
I'll throw out mine first to like give you an example.
All right.
I want this game to be M-rated. That's it.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I want to see Reach-based customization, but like even still enhanced even more for like the new armor variations and everything like that. But I want to see similar style UI, similar style armor system, if that makes sense, for Infinite. I reckon that would be really good, and I'd get a lot of people really excited just to play the game.
100%. And I'm all for like the M rating, just because if the flood is here, or if the lore I've heard about Zeta Halo is true, they need kind of that M-rated storytelling. That's it. It's just the M-rated storytelling freedom that an M-rating gives.
Palace of Pain and everything like that, where, you know, human experimentation. They have to make this game M-rating. If they don't, I think it would be a huge waste, in my opinion.
FootedGhost also had a neat video about a battle royale idea that you could probably see pop it up on the screen as well.
That's true. Yep.
FootedGhost thank you very much for coming by. Closing words.
Thank you very much, mate. Thanks for having me on. Very excited for this game. So, it's just great to talk with someone else about it, because even though it's delayed, I think we still need to talk about it. Plenty to talk about, So if we just keep the hype, I reckon that will get us going into next year before the game releases.
Yep, and I agree. Everything we mentioned just leads to a more successful 10-year platform of freedom, creativity, and horror.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
I just mentioned that last word. That's very different, but Anyways, folks, check out FootedGhost's channel. You can see it on the screen here, as well as his Battle Royale video. And thank you guys very much for watching. And Halo Infinite is a-coming.
Thanks, guys.